Howdy doody. Just like give a quick 5-minute analysis of this article about what the economists and this is going to be in Timo speak. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay, worryingly high. This is News Hub, right? News Hub. There's a little logo. Worryingly high. Now these people are supposed to be reporters looking out for us, right? And so let's see how that stacks up against what I'm about to say. This year for the teeth. There we go. Worryingly high. Economists, politicians react after annual inflation remains steady. Okay. Politician. Okay. Now there's a few things in it I want to point out. All the stuff here is all standard issue bank speak, right? And they're talking about New Zealand, right? Okay. So why is this Australian video in it? And see, you know, this is an article about the New Zealand economy with an Australian video. Anyway. Okay. So the Bank of New Zealand here, Royal Bank of New Zealand, Reserve Bank of New Zealand, right? Okay. Will increase the OCR by 75 basis points. See, the linchpin of my view is the New Zealand people are not doing anything different. And in fact, we've had mass immigration for a long time and real low unemployment, right? And I'm not looking at what the GDP was 2 years ago versus this year, okay? Why does this need to happen? Now, I could be extremely cynical, and I'm going to be, because I've got, you know, an interest in being objective. Is this fiddling the books on us or what? Okay, how can he do that, which changes the value of our currency actually? How can he do that, man? Okay, because the New Zealand people aren't doing anything different. In fact, we've probably increased the GDP, I'm just guessing, right? But that they can just make this change, right? There's a significance to that, right? In more ways than one, actually. And so they got the ability to do this, right? They've got the ability to do that, right? Okay. Why are they doing that? See, the way New Zealand operates, the people are the economy. Most businesses are small business. It's a static thing. We all go to work. You know, owners open the doors. You know, it's all going on all the time. And that's static. That financial activity is static. Okay? See, this whole statement is what? That is actually blowing smoke up one's butt, mate, I tell you. Because they don't have any actual thing to do with creating the wealth, right? It's an observation, right? So he says this, man. Now, this inflation, right, that's their deal, okay? It's actually not to do with us. It's actually not to do with us because we're in a static frame of mind, be productive, and we are. And so this is actually not to do with the people of New Zealand, right? This inflation, right? Okay? Because we are productive. We create wealth through labour. Okay? Creating more than the sum of its parts. Okay? That is what creates wealth. So these guys are third party to that. They're not actually involved in what is termed normal community. See this business here, okay? They're saying ASB senior economist Mark Smith, right, agreed 75-point hike in February is likely. Smith added figures show an annual inflation likely peaked mid-2022, but the outlook is extremely uncertain. So that's an admission that that's this dyslexia, actually. That's the dyslexia that's present in the legal system, actually. Okay? I think a man of his familiarity with the subject couldn't possibly have that opinion, actually. And this is because, in best terms, that this is his opinion means he's not anything to do. You know, he's not anything to do with the static creation of wealth, which is our economy. Looks set to remain uncontrolled. So, just a point, right? Have they transposed, have they fucking got us with the fuel prices? And that's jacked all the prices up. And he's appropriating it for his own profit. It's like an inversion of obtaining by deception. Okay, he's transposing data into a different context, which is actually what kind of burglary is that, eh? Much too high and looks ingrained. So I would ask, here's a question, right? How much money will New Zealand pay on debt in the next 100 years, right? Okay? All things considered. Okay? See, this is such a spectator's view, right? Or is he telling us that we are spectators? Because this is the understanding that is taken as gospel. Okay? Could be a legal precedent in that one, I think. Oh, further hikes. And with the risk of more aggressive moves later on, and a greater and likely greater economic damage if inflationary pressures turned out to be stubbornly persistent. While New Zealand is productive and we have mass immigration, we've got super low unemployment, and there's lots of staff. There's over 500 class 5 jobs usually on our biggest media of advertising, Trade Me. And everyone's spending money. Everyone is spending money. Okay? See, they've made this statement, right? But then it says this. Right? Okay, so this guy, Core Logic, chief property economist. Ooh. So that a property economist has been involved in this proves that there is a case to answer RE, the mortgaged-centric view, and its role in our political system. And here we go. Subterfuge. Absolutely 100% their perspective of it. And that's repeating what he's already said. And that's actually trivializing what he has previously said. He said, while a 75 basis point increase has already been priced in the financial markets. See, this new borrowers, man, like new mortgage people, first home buyers, is that something that's happening in New Zealand, really? No, I don't think so. See, that's la land, because that's negligible, the amount of new borrowers there are. Okay? It's negligible, man. See, that doesn't say anything about this. Davidson said also it means further house prices are likely, which will come as unwelcome news for owners. Further house prices are likely. Mr. Act, David Seymour. At least he's talking about that. But does that further obfuscate the subject, putting it in those terms? So he goes on to talk about economic mismanagement. There's always a human cost to this sort of economic mismanagement. Interest rates increased by $450 a week. Who is a new home buyer these days when it's just increased $450 a week? Who's the first home buyer now? Making an obvious statement. See, that kind of statement, man, really. You know what? It sounds like she could be happy about it. You know? Okay? Again, a spectator's perspective, right? We're being played, man. Labor got in, and the first thing was to spend, as it was told by the media, quoted from the government, the Labor government, the very first day it seemed they allocated $1 billion to protect the Pacific from Chinese influence. That's compromised, man. That is compromised. China's pretty much an old mate, eh? He's like, been trading a long time. We don't have a hang up about China in New Zealand. They're a country, they do trade, we do business with them, we talk to them, they talk to us. That was very bad when Jacinda Ardern announced that. The Chinese call it very wrong worded statement. And I agree, I was kind of shocked. I mean, they could have said, oh, we're just going to buy 4 new planes for the Air Force because the old ones are 30 years old. They could have said that, which is what the actual event would be. So, yeah, that's the truth, man. It's 4 planes. It's really like, you know, a lot of patrol tech in them. Not surveillance, but you know, patrolling the different things. Yeah, anyway, and it's a joke because that game, you know what, that Air Force thing when they first got in, you know, America's real keen on that, eh? So why didn't they just give us the planes for it if they're so keen? Oh no, they're dragging $1 billion out of us for it. Oh, not really friendly, is it? Doing it like that, is it? Oh, inflation is still being heavily influenced by global factors. Yeah, they reference Ukraine a lot about the fuel, and it's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. Yeah, that's not how logistics operates. Actually, it's not possible. And saying this, saying that is evasion. Okay, saying that is evasion. What I think it is New Zealand's very productive. We're punching way above our weight. Australia's got 4 times the population and 80 billion agricultural exports, and New Zealand's like, we've got 55 billion agricultural exports. So we're well and truly awesome at that. And so, in this relationship with China, this is a fabulous relationship. It supports both of us. I think it's great having a good relationship. Trump says, oh, what's wrong with being friends with Russia, man? And he's right. It's just another whole lot of people. You know, the T-Nell's view is actually all the countries that are white people countries need to become one country. Okay? Because we are not a border. We're not a name. I'm a human being. The earth grew everyone. And the Channel Party is going to put it in context of all the people, all the white people are in the same group, and we should have an oversight to suit that, all right? It's not being white supremacist. I'm not one bit racist, man. I'm living right now with absolute the most Maori there is, man. And it's gone very good. There's not been any drinking. He's been a top rate flatmate. Right? And so this whole discussion of the economy, what it is We are wealthier than the bankers, and that's why they're pulling us back. That's why they're stripping us of wealth so they can, yeah. So Tino policy is they've got three options, right? One, which is ultimate. This is pure social logic, man. They should leave 2/3 of their profit in New Zealand for 3 years, right? 2/3 placed as cunningly as possible, right? For 3 years, because they especially know the value of fertilizer, don't they? Oh, yes. And I'm surprised they wouldn't, if I could prompt them, this could be found an amazing good idea. As fertilizer, just 3 years of 2/3 of the bank's profits, right? This would increase their bottom line over time. If it's in concert with a Tino government, right? Holy moly. Now, I haven't made particularly significant policy announcements, right? I've got policy concepts, right? Because a lot of the way the government operates is in concert with this. And you know what? Name calling is always. See, how come our currency, this isn't the bank's currency, it's New Zealand's currency, right? How come they have control of the value of it? How come they have control of our currency? Because not only have control of the currency, they have control of the understanding of it. Okay? And yeah. So this is really actually looking like a replication of how anxiety functions in a group. It's actually looking like a very much a copy, right? A replication of that process that anxiety uses to get its way in a group setting. So that's what it means. It is a replication of the function of anxiety, because the linchpin of it is because consciousness acknowledges anxiety, it therefore becomes the replication of the function of anxiety that dictates political credibility. Okay? And that's pretty much how religion has had its aristocracy all this time. And so the message I have been tasked to bring is it's literally going to give everyone double happiness, man. In the revelation of the 8 laws, it's going to give everyone double happiness. See, if they acquiesce to the amnesty, that's perfectly awesome logic. If they had left 2/3 of their profits here for 3 years, it would be like fertilizer, man, and a massive promotion of goodwill as emotional currency, right? And so, because there are a couple of other options which are speedily and increasingly worse, to the point where the question mark over them is so big it eclipses them, right? Yeah. So yeah. So if they're talking about the economy, they would say, what's the incomings versus the outgoings? But they're not doing that. This is a report on the bank's perspective of our currency. Okay? and it's implying that it is a result of the bank that we have the economy, right? And that is the function of anxiety, man. And they've made it happen. They've just called it anxiety because if everyone jacks their prices up, you get anxiety, right? Anxiety. Inflation. The cost of living goes up, right? But if you get everyone raising their prices for some reason, that looks exactly the same as inflation. And so that's another appropriation of transposing, which is a very, very significant lie to do that. Very much, definitely. And this is the problem with anxiety. This is what it does to people. Anyway, short vid. There you go. That's what I reckon.